MLB family, I missed you guys, and we got MLB The Show 23 coming out Thursday night. If you did the pre-order and all that sort of stuff, this video today is going over a lot of the basics. There's a lot of new people. Some of you guys will be getting the game on Game Pass for free in a couple of days. So I wanted to use this time to talk about, hey, guess what? This is kind of what the game is. This is how we plan on attacking it, because we will be going no money spent. Now, because you're going no money spent, that doesn't mean you can't pre-order the good version of the game. No money spent to me is after the game, right? And I think buying a decent version of the game is worth it to start, because step one, take stubs to make stubs. Stubs are your in-game currency. You see it at the top, right over there on the left, right? Now this is MLB The Show 22, so I want to go through some stuff here with you guys. Normally at the beginning of the game, you start out, it's a real slow pace. That is not going to be the case this year. This year is a very different year, where they're going on like 6-week seasons of certain cards, and set 1, set 2, set 3, so on and so forth. And set 2 is going to run through like June, so a lot of these early cards you're going to be able to use until the end of June at least, right? But there's always a big collection in the beginning, and as a no money spent player, you don't have the luxury of going and buying all these really expensive cards to get these big collections done. What do we mean the big collections? It's a live series collection, right? Every year this is something that gets put into the game. Last year it was Frank Thomas, Roberto Clemente, and then a Randy Johnson, and you basically have to collect every single live series version of the cards in the game for it. Now, I was able to do this last year in 2 days, no money spent. That sounds really crazy and ridiculous, and that's because it was crazy and ridiculous. However, it was a really unhealthy journey. I'll be honest, right? I'll be honest. It was unhealthy. Like I didn't sleep a lot. I kind of obsessed over getting it done so fast, and the reason I wanted to get it done so fast is because these were like the best cards in the game that you could have at the time, right? And I'm not the best player, so I want every advantage possible to have as best of a team when I go play games online. Again, I'm not very good. This year it is going to be very different, because there's going to be very high overall cards at the start. Other 99s, 97 overalls, 92 overalls, overall ranges that did not exist in the past, which means that it actually really bridges the gap well for us being a no money spent player, because you're going to be able to grind out a lot of really good usable cards at the beginning of the game. Cards that will potentially even be rivaling some of the best cards. Now, not the best 99s, not the Derek Jeter and the Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, stuff like that, but close enough to where the gap between you spent all your money, you got every collection done, and us, it's a lot lower, and that is good, which means that there's a lot less pressure on us. So how did we do it? Well, one of the easiest ways to do it, and what I mean easy is it's easy in concept, but it is a time consuming. It's an order system, right? You buy a card low, you sell a card high. And what I mean by low and high, it ain't what you're thinking. So you can see here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's 15 lines per page. Okay. And you see I have 1,783 pages, which means I bought and sold over 26,000 cards in this game. Now, there will be certain moments throughout the year where we're going to get really good opportunities at buying and selling stuff based on the quick sell value of cards. That's how we really get our stub stack up as the season goes on, right? Small investments. Again, investing in cards. People will sell cards for 1,000 stubs, and it quick sells for 1,000 stubs. No risk investing. That is what we are super, super good at. Occasionally, there will be other times for cards that are going to go into other collections and stuff like that. So you can see stuff like this catcher's helmet, for example, 1,000 stubs, right? We bought it for 1,000. Well, it quick sells for 1,000, so it was a no risk And I'm sure at some point here, we probably sold it for 1,500, 1,800 stubs. Again, oh, it's sold 500 stubs. Yeah, but if you do it at an extreme amount, that's how it works. Now, what I'm doing is going to the very beginning of the game to show you what we did here. Again, I'm not going to put the pressure on myself to get this done in 1 or 2 days. I'm not this year. I think it's very cool, feather in your cap, notch on your belt sort of thing, but I'm not overly going to be worried about it. Now, maybe once we get our hands on the content, we feel like, okay, we really need to get this done. But it is still going to be my ultimate goal is to get the big collection done. Again, to get what we assume is the Derek Jeter card. So that is the big thing that we don't really have to worry about. Can you play this game, no money spent? Absolutely. You can grind through online. You can play events. You can play Battle Royale. You can play through seasons. And then you'll have offline stuff where you're going to be grinding through moments. You're going to be grinding through mini seasons. All those things are going to give you stubs, packs, and rewards very consistently with what you want to do. Because I also feel like the cost of these big collection this year is going to be a lot higher than we normally expect, simply because these live series cards are what is going to be considered as a core card, can be used throughout the entire year. It's not set locked. It's not season locked. That Derek Jeter card, you can use it all year long, right? So there's a lot more value to a card that you can use from day 1 to day 365, as opposed to day 1 to day 60. If that makes sense, cool. So again, look, we're on. Look how crazy this is. April 2nd, right? Look at all these orders that we're doing in here. It's crazy. And we still have thousands of orders, thousands and thousands of orders and transactions. Now I do some of it on the console. Otherwise, I do it on the app that they have. Again, I do recommend you get the app. It makes things a little bit easier. You can do it without really worrying too much. So we're far enough in here. So what you will see here is a lot of these icons and sounds and all this sort of stuff you may not really think that has a lot of value, but in the beginning of the year it does. People really like to build up their teams and have these sounds and icons and all this stuff the way that they want, and most people, they just take the quick way out. They just do the buy now price. So you can see angry baseball icon. Let's just look at this for example. Angry baseball icon, we sold one for 966 stubs and I bought it for 296. 826 to 827. One transaction went through and we made 700 stubs in that one transaction, and it took a minute of time to go post it back up and then have it sell. That is how we make this work early on. You can do it with other player cards and stuff like that if you find something, but the key goal is to find that area that you're going to be in, right? And for me, it's normally unlockables, which is all this stuff, and equipment. Okay? These are two great places to go and start. Again, having stubs to make stubs means that you can actually do different things. Now, again, this range is pretty extreme here, but you wouldn't be able to buy this for 9,000 to sell it for 47,000 if you didn't have 9,000 stubs. However, once you are kind of like out of stubs and you're just kind of waiting, you kind of sit there. So I don't like to put all of my stubs in one basket. I always want to have sort of like a savings account sort of to allow me to still do a lot of the small stuff. So like what I would do here is go on filters. Again, the common stuff is fine. Find audio, sure. And again, I'm not really worried about the diamond stuff. I'm not really worried about the gold stuff, but it's just the really common stuff. And even today still, you could go in and I could place a buy order, say, I want this for 100 stubs, right? Today, I can still go in and do this. Someone may fulfill this order, and then when I have it, bam, I would throw it up and sell it for the next lowest price. But you need to keep up with it, right? Or else you're going to have stuff that's going to be standing there and waiting and kind of slow. So that's the first way that we're going to attack. By getting these pre-order packs, these bundles, getting stubs, any cards we get, unless you happen to pull something crazy, maybe like a Mike Trout, maybe you just want to keep a Mike Trout or an Ohtani or something that you may pull. Again, really rare. But we want to start using those stubs to attack how we're going to do things. Because again, our goal is to finish the live series collection. The way we want to do that is, again, by finding those really expensive cards and kind of working our way towards it. Now, I don't always do it 100% the smartest way either, because I like to still open packs. And early on, opening packs isn't always the worst thing. The reason is that the packs are probably going to be 1,500 stubs. As you go through and you open a pack, you know, you're going to get X amount of cards, and you will want to see, oh man, I pulled Randy Rodriguez. It says quick sell for 5. We're not quick selling them, right? We don't quick sell cards. If someone is at quick sell value, we keep it, right? If someone is above that, let's say, then we go back into our inventory and we see, well, he's actually selling for 80, and we'll throw him up for 80. We'll try to make our stubs back that way, that we are losing on a pack, again, in hopes that we get there. Now, do not go too crazy on these packs either, because generally they are very, very bad. However, a couple lucky hits will take you a long way. I think last year we ended up pulling Jacob deGrom. We pulled a Juan Soto on day one, and then an Ohtani shortly after. Those really do help out because it's hundreds of thousands of stubs. So that is the first way that we're going to be attacking this. I'm not going to be necessarily playing the game so much, as opposed to doing this method, try to get my stub count out. But I'm not only going to do that, because that's what I would do last year. This year, we're going to start with programs. Probably the Team Affinity program, which is going to give you lots of really good stuff. 92s, 97s, and all that. We didn't start out that way, you know? Like, you just didn't. Those cards were okay. They're 87s, 85 overalls, but getting 92s and 97s for free for playing the game is great. Now, when we go into these featured programs, again, this is what it'll be. There's going to be moments you can do every day to get XP. There's going to be featured moments that you can play, missions, collections, and all that. And we don't really start doing these collections for stuff like the and the exchanges necessarily, because we don't want to be locking in players just yet. So we just kind of go along this path. Now, if you happen to get to an XP point where you're getting a reward card early on and quicker than other people, you don't need that card right now, okay? Let's say it's Cedric Mullins to start, right? Or Chapman last year. It was a great start of a card. You could have sold this guy for a decent amount. This isn't really going to show. The timeline doesn't show enough. But you could have sold him for maybe 40, 50,000 stubs. And then in 3 or 4 days later, when other people catch up, he's 20K. So you can go buy him back and you have 20,000 stubs. It's mind blown. Patience is going to be your key. Patience on buying and selling if you get something fast. I know I'm trying to throw a lot of information out here at you guys, but I think it is really, really important. Again, we will cover every single step of the way on this channel that we do. When the game releases, we will cover that as well, because we'll have a bit of a plan. We don't really know how everything is going to fully work, but historically, this is the way that it works, and this is the way that we've had an absolute ton of success. Again, this is a no money spent account. The stub limit is 5 million stubs, which is why I'm not over it. And we have basically every card in the game. Basically every card in the game. I just went out and just bought every card in the game. Like, well, why not? Why not? Look at all these cards. Look at all these 99s we just have sitting here. Look at all this. No money spent. All the options in the world that we could have ever wanted. And it's because we got that head start. And once you get the big collection done, because that is going to be your eventual goal, everything else comes naturally and quick, because you're not worried about some of the stuff, because you already have a really good team to go about stuff, and then you can just play and grind at your own pace. We will keep you informed when we feel like, hey, this is an investment opportunity. Hey, you should be doing this. We're going to be looking at certain rewards that come through. Occasionally, They will put out random packs for equipment, diamond equipment. It causes prices to absolutely crash for a couple hours, and then it rises back up because everyone buys it. Everyone buys it. You got people like me. I'll buy a million stubs worth of that stuff. Turn it around 2 days later for 1 to 2 million stubs profit. All right, just play here, right? And again, I'm not good enough to get some of the rewards. I'm not. I play Battle Royale. I do the Battle Royale program, but I don't get the 12-0 rewards or anything like that. Again, I'm not a great player. How do I do it? It takes me time, but I play the game because I enjoy it, and I do this because I enjoy it. I hope you will join me on this journey here. I'm super excited. However, like I said, I am going to take it a little slower. I think, at least. I'm saying that out loud, and I keep saying it because I'm trying to put it in my own head so I don't get like, well, I can stay up till 5 in the morning tonight and do this. I don't want to do that. I remember how awful and miserable I was last year. I was a miserable human being for like the first 48 hours because I was just so overly committed. It wasn't healthy, and I don't want to be that way this year, but we will try to get this done as quick as possible. I will put in a lot of time. Again, this is no money spent. You can either spend time or you can spend money. Well, I'm going to put in the time, and probably not even the equivalent amount of time where you could just buy stubs and it would be okay based on how much I think my time is worth. But I enjoy the grind. I look forward to doing this with you guys. If you guys have any questions ever, comment on the videos. Hit me up on Twitter, theactualcc. I love you. I'm out. Peace.